See, here's what's coming soon. Turn with me to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and many of you are going, oh yeah, I know what he's going to read about. And this is one of the prophecies that is yet to be fulfilled. So it's just invigorating to know that soon, here's what's going to happen. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 2 and 3. For you yourselves know very well that Jehovah's day is coming exactly as a thief in the night. Whenever it is that they are saying peace and security, then sudden destruction is to be instantly on them, just like birth pains on a pregnant woman, and they will by no means escape. Yes, see, Jehovah's day. This has to do with the day of the outbreak of the Great Tribulation. Babylon the Great is destroyed, and then Armageddon finishes it off. In this context, that's Jehovah's day. And what happens before that is this proclamation, peace and security. Will religious leaders be involved? Well, they're part of Satan's system. That's very possible. We'll have to wait and see. Will it be one announcement or a series of announcements? That we don't know. But this is coming. And those that are staying close to Jehovah, enjoying the peace from him and his son Jesus, will not be deceived by this imitation proclamation of peace. Imitation peace.
It's quite possible that you were able to make out very little of what we've just been hearing due to the slurring, but we've just been listening to Anthony Morris, who is giving the final talk at the Pursue Peace Convention for the Friday. His theme, Do Not Be Misled by Imitation Peace. And what we have here is doomsday Armageddon fearmongering. This is a man who salivates at the prospect of billions dying for the crime of not acknowledging his authority. He used the word invigorating. Oh, how invigorating. The thought of carnage, which he believes he will be involved in due to the teaching that the governing body will be raised to heavenly life, or, as I like to put it, raptured, just before Armageddon so that they can take place in the slaughter. He's rubbing his hands at the prospect of being involved, and he's here making suitably vague predictions about the cry of peace and security. Jehovah's Witnesses believe, based on a Bible verse, that just before Armageddon, someone, be it a religious leader or a politician or multiple people, will make a proclamation that now there is peace and security. And as the verse says, then sudden destruction is to be instantly on them, just like birth pains on a pregnant woman. How invigorating. I feel so refreshed having read all about destruction and the annihilation of billions.
And again, back in Matthew chapter 4, we're going to see how Jesus handled this type of test from the devil, and we learn from it here in verses 8 through 11, Matthew chapter 4. Again, the devil took him, in verse 8, took him along to an unusually high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, all these things I will give you, if you fall down and do an act of worship to me. Then Jesus said to him without hesitation, go away, Satan, for it is written, it is Jehovah your God you must worship, and it is to him alone you must render sacred service. Then the devil left him, and look, angels came and began to minister to him. See, right away, third time, it is written. Jesus was having nothing to do with this offer of the kingdoms, this imitation peace. You'll have all the glory and rule. And it's always boggled my mind that this one who knew Jesus in his pre-human existence would have the audacity to try to get him to bow down and worship him. Shows you he's obviously insane.
Thank you for sharing that, Tony. What an insightful remark there about the obvious insanity of Satan when he led Jesus up an unusually high mountain. And if you think about it, I've talked about this in other videos, the whole premise of this vision of being led up the unusually high mountain and seeing all the kingdoms of the earth is clearly influenced by a perception of the earth being flat. How else would you be able to see all the kingdoms of the earth at the peak of an unusually high mountain? But Tony's been boggling over this for quite some time, it seems, because how could Satan possibly have thought he would get away with this? It boggles his mind. Clearly, Satan's insane. Thank you, Tony, for sharing that. This, by the way, is spiritual food being administered by 1/8 of God's faithful slave. And in sharing these insights with us, it's worth mentioning that Tony totally isn't completely sloshed.
Now, he wouldn't allow either when they tried to make him an earthly king. Jesus wasn't having any part of that. They were thinking he can bring them peace, but Jesus said, there's no peace except by Jehovah's way. And the peace from God's kingdom is so superior to anything they could try to come up with their imitation peace. Here's why. Think about this. Jesus will remove the devil. Jesus will remove human rulership. Jesus will remove sin. So the earth's peace will never again be disturbed. And I appreciate very much that he's going to get rid of all problems, and that includes undoing all causes of pain, and not just physical pain, emotional pain as well. Wonderful to look forward to that time with that beautiful peace from our precious Father Jehovah and his Son Jesus.
Beautiful peace, that's the product of global genocide. Yes, who'd want imitation peace? Who'd want the real thing in the here and now when in the fantasy that Tony Morris is peddling in his slurring ramble, the fantasy he wants us to buy into is apparently superior. It's, after all, the product of a global slaughter that he has participated in as one of the 144,000 in heaven, riding around on heavenly horses. And once he's done with finishing off anyone who doesn't accept his authority, anyone who doesn't think that he is part of God's channel with mankind, of course God would choose someone like Tony Morris with his slurring, rambling way of talking. Of course God would choose him out of all mankind to convey his wisdom. Once he's done slaughtering everyone who doesn't see things the way he sees things or follow his authority, we will have a peace that will never again be disturbed. And he talks there about the removal of emotional pain.
And I appreciate very much that he's going to get rid of all problems, and that includes undoing all causes of pain, and not just physical pain, emotional pain as well.
You mean like the emotional pain of ostracism, Tony? the emotional pain of family estrangement on religious grounds, that sort of emotional pain. It's nice that you're all bothered about people's emotions when it comes to your doomsday fear-mongering ramblings. But when it comes to making a difference in the here and now, when it comes to bringing people one iota of peace, one iota of mercy and compassion and understanding, you, Tony Morris, have proven that you really couldn't care less about the emotional pain of others.